Hello, my name is Matt Galloway, and I'm the founder and chief technologist for Architactile LLC. Architactile is a company dedicated to developing software for the Apple iPad designed specifically for the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. This video is a brief introduction to our first product, Architactile Inception, which should be submitted to the App Store within the next month or so. Architactile Inception is a product that's designed to help streamline the process the architect goes through from the first point of client meeting through to getting the contract signed, to help to collapse the time frame necessary to go through that process. It does that by helping streamline the development of the scope of the project, establishing a conceptual budget, organizing that information in a meaningful way, and helping the architect more easily communicate that to the customer. So to start a project in Architactile Inception, we simply click Start New or tap Start New Project. We specify a client name, so we can say New Client. We can specify a project name. I'll say Project X. Project X. I can specify a project type. Right now, the only models we have in there are place of worship and school. This will be a much more comprehensive list very shortly. I'm going to specify place of worship. Proposed construction, is it renovation to new construction, or new construction? We'll say new construction. The rest of the fields are optional, so I'm just going to say create. I can go in and define the building. There's some parameters and general project information, general building information. One of the interesting features is calculating tear or unassigned space. We're going to set the building efficiency to 80% for this particular project. And then I'm going to jump right into use groups, or in other words, defining the spaces that are going to be required for this particular customer. So I'm going to say add use group, and it adds a use group up here, and I can pick a type for that use group. This list of space types or use group types is tied to that model, so these things are all use groups that one might find in a place of worship. So I can come into here and say, well, I want to add some office space, so I can pick office. The name is pre-filled with office, but if I wanted to, I could say I can rename the actual name of it, so I can say staff workspace if I wanted to call it something different. When I pick office, it automatically pre-fills the density in terms of the number of square feet per person, and it also sets a default budgetary cost in terms of dollars per square foot. So all I need to do is come in and fill in an occupancy. Let's say I need staff space for 5 people, and it automatically is going to calculate my net assignable area. Since I have an 80% building efficiency, I need 150 square feet of unassignable space for a total of 750 square feet gross area. At $85 per square foot, the budgetary estimate for that office space is $63,750. So I can I can immediately communicate that to the customer. As I'm typing in those few pieces of information, the software writes this narrative. So staff workspace, new construction of approximately 750 gross square feet with 600 square feet net assignable area to accommodate approximately 5 people. Estimated budget for staff workspace is $63,750. I can change any of these parameters and it'll automatically recalculate the others. So if I come in and decide that I wanted to switch to $90 per square foot, for example, it would recalculate the total at $67,500. Or for example, if I wanted to change the occupancy density, if I wanted to provide less square foot per person and go to 100 square foot per person, for example, I can change that and it changes my areas and cost appropriately. And the narrative is automatically updated. That's basically how you add a space in Architactile Inception. I'm going to jump back out and go into a project that I've developed a little bit more completely. This is a small church project. If I go into the use group, I can see that I've defined an office space, a Sunday school, some storage area, choir space, a kitchen, fellowship hall, sanctuary, and a foyer. Essentially all the components that I would need for a small church. I can go to each one of these things and look at the occupancy and density and net and gross areas, the costs associated with each one. I can edit all of those parameters. As I add, once I've added all those things, I can come back to the project worksheet and see the narrative of all of the spaces in one long narrative for the entire project. This would be something that would be appropriate to include in the scope portion of the construction contract. I can go back into the use groups and switch to the bubble diagram view. And here I've laid out a quick bubble diagram of the spaces. These bubbles are automatically created when I create each of the individual spaces, and I can come into the bubble diagram and move these things around, reposition them if I wanted to think about the space a little bit differently. And I can set with a client and actually go through this bubble diagram to help them visualize, conceptualize what that project might be like. They can also see the relationships, the magnitude of the spaces, both visually and numerically, as well as the costs associated with each space, so they can understand how the $1.4 million budget is distributed across the spaces in this project. That's a quick overview. Architectile Inception does a lot more than just define use spaces, but that's definitely the heart and soul of it. Thanks for stopping by our website. I hope you check back and watch our progress. And if you're interested, please sign up on our mailing list, and we'll keep you posted. Thanks, and hope to see you again soon.